What is happening, Nerd Squad, and welcome back. I'm your host, Taylor McWaters, and on today's list, we are looking at some of the biggest and baddest when it comes to comic book villains. What better way to start your weekend off than to talk about some demon gods, some horrible people with godly powers. So kick off those Crocs, grab a soda, because guys, here are the top 10 villains beyond Omega level. Let's do it. Kicking off the list at number 10, we have Loki. The Disney Plus original is now 2 episodes in, and the God of Mischief is actually quite fun. We like watching him. Now, before the monologues and ruling, he made his first comic book appearance in Venus, issue 6. And in the Silver Age, he entered with Journey into Mystery, issue 85. Now, before Loki even gets up to anything Omega or crazy in the comics, he was already condemned by the gods. He was trapped in a tree, so you know he's a bit of a dick. But even so, he still figured out how to control this tree and then break free. Bonus points for rhyming. Now, since day one, this guy's had tricks up his trunk. Now, Loki is a master manipulator now, and when his lies don't even cover his trails, I'm sure his psionic capabilities ought to do it in some way, shape, or form. Be it astral form or he can do anything he wants, basically. Number 9, the Marquis of Death. Clyde Wincham Jr. made his Marvel debut in Marvel 1985, issue 2. He's considered one of the most powerful entities in the Marvel universe. The Marquis of Death is one of the only survivors of his reality. He's the only mutant in his universe. And when his powers were uncontrollable, Reed Richards found him and then held him on our Earth, 616, in a place called Area 87. So he sat there with his helmet on, he was controlled. He spent an eternity having good dreams, just staying safe, not a bad time at all. It could be way worse. But then when Area 87 was inevitably attacked, Clyde's mind was restored, and now he was just out to destroy. He spent eternity mastering time and space. So once he was free, he wiped out everything that he came in contact with in every multiverse. He's responsible for training Dr. Doom. He taught him everything that he knows, because he saw potential in Victor. Then he traveled to Earth one dimension away and killed everybody in the world except for Reed Richards, his husband Jack Storm, the Human Torch of that world, and then the Sun. So it's just Reed, the Human Torch, and then the Sun, all hanging out, getting a tan, just being bored out of their mind. Number 8, Hela. She first appeared in Journey into Mystery, issue 102. Hela, aka the Goddess of Death, cool nickname. She's the oldest of Odin's children. She was in Thor Ragnarok. She was Odin's personal executioner, and she's the same person who broke Thor's hammer with her bare hands. So when somebody dies in a battle, they're sent to Valhalla by Odin's Valkyries. But when a dishonorable soul dies, it stays in the body until Hela comes around and then condemns it with her touch of death. She also doesn't even have to wait until you die either. She can just boop a healthy Asgardian to death. That's intimidating. You don't want to play tag with Hela. Or if you do, just don't get caught. Do not get caught. Wear your good shoes for that one. Number 7, Queen of Fables. I like to throw in a fun one. Let's do it. She made her first debut in JLA issue 47. Now, once upon a time, long ago, she ruled until a princess named Snow White came along and trapped her in the Book of Fables. She was trapped in a book. So already I'm like, Yeah, Snow White made fact into fiction, and then she was stuck in this book like Jumanji style, and then naturally many years later she was released. Now, but what makes the Queen of Fables so interesting and like Omega and weird and fun is that she doesn't know the difference between reality and fiction. She treats everything like it's a fairy tale, almost like I do every day. I'm like, no, I'm not emptying the dishwasher, father. Be gone, fool. So if you have any theater school friends, they're kind of like that all the time, only with magical powers. Reality altering magical powers. Now, one of the only things that can hurt her is Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. Of course, because it snaps her out of this reality, this literal fantasy that she's living. Now, I love when the Queen of Fables is released because it's so terrifying. I would never want to be this family who has to deal with this. It starts with a mother reading to her son, and then after she realizes that the book's a little twisted, it's too late. There's like demons out, it's literal, it's hell. It's like Jumanji, it's a nightmare. Number 6, Galactus. The wielder of the power cosmic. This one has to eat planets in order to survive. Quite the appetite. Galactus is the devourer of worlds, the great destroyer. He made his first appearance in Fantastic Four issue 48. He is the sole survivor of the 6th incarnation of the multiverse. But it didn't always start that way. Originally, he was a humanoid named Galen, born on a previous version of Earth called Planet Ta, which I like more than Earth. It sounds kind of assertive. Yeah, there's Venus, there's Neptune, and then Ta. Okay, Ta. What a good one. It was a paradise whose civilization was way more advanced than any other in the universe at the time. And then when the cosmos were soon ending, the embodiment of the sixth infinity, the sentience of the multiverse, approached Galen and merged with him, just became him. Now Galactus resides in the seventh iteration of his universe, which is our Earth 616. Ooh, scary. This dude's wild. He ate Infinity Stones once. In Thanos issue 4, he ate the Infinity Stones. If you can't beat him, eat him, I guess. Number 5, Matthew Malloy. That's a nice name. He doesn't sound very scary, right? Right? This one is very tragic, this poor man. Okay, Matthew was a regular Joe living in Charleston, South Carolina, when all of a sudden Earth gets hit with a Skrull invasion. Sounds like a brutal time already, but then when his wife Jules is vaporized by a blast from a Skrull ship and his home is just gone, it's toast, it's bad. It's not looking good. He's severely depressed. Now, a year later, he sees his late wife's sister and they catch up. And it's hard for Matthew. He hasn't seen her up until this point. So it's hard to talk about this stuff. The trauma was still in there. The trauma is very intense. And that's when his mutant powers manifested. He erupted with energy, so much energy that it ended the life of the sister. So like, it's the worst luck. This poor family and this poor guy, Matthew. So then he's standing there in the middle of this crater in shock. And then that's when Maria Hill's hologram shows up on a drone. And she's like, "Are you okay? Are you a mutant?" And he's like, "Ah," and he freaked out a little bit more. And then she sent a strike team, and then this caused them to release even more power and then take more lives. All bad. Hashtag all bad. So S.H.I.E.L.D. ended up sending in an airstrike as well, which ended up obliterating Cyclops, Matthew, and Magic, but he was too powerful. This guy came back to life, and then he teleported to the Jean Grey School. This is not looking good, folks. How is he gonna get out of this? How are we gonna get out of this? He also took the life of Emma Frost when he got there. It's really bad. So Tempest decided the only way to take care of this beyond Omega level threat was to go back in time. We gotta make sure his parents never meet. Then we can avoid some serious casualties. Number 4, Mephisto. He made his first appearance as a serpent in Bible Tales for Young Folk, issue 1, one of my favorites, have that up on the shelf. And then he made his first full appearance as Mephisto in Silver Surfer, issue 3. And this guy's been nothing but trouble since. I mean, obviously he's the devil. And sometimes you have to make a deal with the devil to get out of some sticky situations. Literally, like when Spider-Man revealed his identity in the Civil War storyline, that led to a bullet striking Aunt May instead of Peter, so he felt at fault, which, yeah, fair, totally is. He's totally at fault. Don't ever tell anyone your name if you have superpowers. Obviously. So what to do? Who to call? Do we have a Ouija board? Let's try the devil. Let's see what happens. Mephisto offers Peter a deal while Aunt May is dying in the hospital, so he gives him no choice, really. He's kind of mean like that. But the deal was that the world will forget about Peter's identity so that Aunt May lives. But the whole Mephisto deal part is that MJ and Peter never got married. So they hug it out one last time and then poof, the deal is sealed. The next day, Peter wakes up and just like that, the world has changed. Karate kicks and quips won't save you this time, Pete. Number 3, Darkseid. He made his first debut in the world of comics back in 1970 in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, issue 134. He was born into the royal family of Apocalypse. He's this brutal dictator and he rules the planet, but his main goal reaches further than that planet though. He actually wants to rule all of the life in the universe. Start small and immediately to the biggest thing. Cool, we like it, that's cool. He started out as kind of a jerk brother, and then one day when Drax was trying to make a connection to the Omega realm on his birthday and take his god name, the mean brother Euxis, Darkseid, came around and interrupted the whole thing. He took the power for himself, like a classic jerk brother. Now the worst part in all of this is that when he took the power, his brother Drax didn't even survive this process. How sad is that? And then when Euxis came out, he took the name of Darkseid, which sounds way more cool, first of all, but he was also the most feared in all the god names, so nobody else took this god name after him. Darkseid can understand how the universe works on a cosmic level. In Countdown issue 9, for example, he says his vision extends beyond the known realities, and he says all things must end. Okay, nice. He can also control others as well, like in Countdown issue 3, he uses Jimmy Olsen as a vessel. Nightmare, what a nightmare scenario. Number 2, Ego. The living planet, kind of a big deal, literally a big deal as well. Making his first appearance in Thor 132, after the stranger visits his home star to conduct an experiment that would cause it to explode, it would go supernova and destroy the planets orbiting it, right? Now a scientist named Egros was determined to save his species from this. I mean, it didn't sound like a pleasant way to go out, so great call. So the day before its destruction Eve, Igros was like, okay, everybody move into these bunkers at the planet's core. That way when the sun goes bye-bye, when it goes supernova, we're still safe. Deal? Awesome. Get under there. Get going, little fucker. Get under there. Cool. It's a good plan, I guess. Everybody makes their way down, but Igros doesn't make it in time. The sun started to go supernova sooner than they had all expected, so Igros got stuck in the blast. Now this made everything around him just merge together, including him. Every living thing turned him into this planet, a living planet. It's not so bad though, being a planet. He does have a companion. Of course he has this selfish moon named Id. Imagine having a moon just orbiting around you. What a treat. He would just check in on you every 3 days or so. And finally, number 1, Ares. The god of war himself. Yeah, let's finish with Ares. He entered DC Comics back in Wonder Woman issue 1, but long before that in Greek religion, he was the spirit of battle. He represents the distasteful aspects of brutal warfare and slaughter. Put that on a LinkedIn, that sounds nice, that's catchy. So when you see him in comics, you already have a sense of the power within him. Now the son of Zeus and Hera, yet still Ares didn't fit in with the other gods of Olympus. I wonder why. So he created his own realm, the Areopagus. He tried his hardest to destroy the Amazons, but luckily that's when Wonder Woman was brought into this wonderful world. So she made it quite hard for him to conquer. Guys, which other Beyond Omega level villains should we cover? Let us know in the comments and we can definitely break them down in a part 2 for you if that happens down the road. Who knows? I'll never tell. I've been your host, Taylor McWaters. Thank you for joining us on Top 10 Nerd, and we'll see you next time. Peace.